Shalom Yashral, Shalom Israel, man. It's your boy Kadash. Here, super late on the night watch, the Ashamarawa. Just wanted to bring, because I was slapping together, I was trying to get the complete wilderness tabernacle lesson out tonight, but looks like it ain't gonna happen. But I wanted to share a few things with you guys before I call it a night. And then tomorrow night. So get ready, because tomorrow night's coming. Okay, so we are in, I wanted to bring something out real quick though. We're in the Dead Sea Scrolls, Study Edition Volume 2. We're in 4Q504, the words of the luminaries, or angels, right? Because the luminaries are angels. Okay, so I just wanted to bring a few things out from it, just to kind of, share, I guess. So we have fragments 1 and 2, column 2, right? It says, O Yahweh, act then in accordance with yourself, in accordance with your great power. You who did forgive our fathers when they made your mouth bitter. You became angry with them as to destroy them, but you took pity on them in your love for them on account of your covenant. For Masha atoned for their sin, and so that they would know your great power and your abundant kindness. Now that goes to where back when Masha first consecrated all the things at the tabernacle, he sprinkled the blood with the hyssop all over everything and atoned. That's why we have the Day of Atonement, to atone for everybody, right? With the Azazel, which we did spiritually not too long ago. And so that they would know your great power and your abundant kindness for everlasting generations. And it's funny just to bring that up, because we just so happened to lay Azazel, hands on Azazel. And it's funny because that usually marks the Jubilee year. The Day of Atonement, we blow the horn, which means next year would be the Jubilee year. So we did that spiritually, and, that'd be nice if it was the Jubilee year. But what's funny is that it just so happens to be the Jubilee year for the Jews, for the fake Jews, going off of their fake lunar calendar. And it's just funny because everybody's starting to flip out, because you got the 4 blood moons thing that's happened, and then they didn't even tell everybody about an extra blood moon that happened, that just so happened the night, if I'm not mistaken, that the night before, the night after, that the Supreme Court made homosexuality legal in the 50 states. So, so that was out of nowhere, showing you that the Chaldeans' magic is darkened and they can't. That was an old prediction, and that they can't form new divination. The Most High is confounding them. Now, it's just funny because that just so happens to land on their Jewish holy days, so-called, which are not on the right holy days. Read Jubilees and Enoch, talks about how if you go off the moon solely, you'll be messed up, and you'll make a holy day on a profane day and a profane day on a holy day. And it says that, they say, that's what that says, but they say that it's the 4 blood moons and all this stuff, and that it marks the Jubilee year, and every time that, for the Jews, that it marks a Jubilee year, something significant happens. Like World War I happened, I think, the first time, and then World War II, and then Vietnam, or I don't know. It's a big old mess, but you could look it up. It's some crazy stuff. But anyways, it says what? It says, your marvels which you performed in the sight of the peoples, for your name has been called out over us. So we are called by his, that's what it means by called by your name. His name is called over us, so we are known, synonymous with Yahweh, as in the fact of, like, people know, the Hebrews, that we worship Yahweh with all our heart and with all our soul, to implant your law in our hearts. So with all our heart and our souls, Most High implanted the law in our hearts. That's the new covenant, right? So that we do not stray from it, either to the right nor to the left. For you heal us of madness, blindness, and confusion. See, and this is what we need healing from, because we're deaf, dumb, and blind, right? The perfected man, we're deaf, dumb, and blind. of heart. Behold, for our iniquities were we sold, but in spite of our sins you did call us. So because of our forefathers' iniquities, we were sold. But he still called us, and you freed us from sinning against you, which is what's happening now. And to make us understand the testimonies, which is happening now, we are understanding his testimonies. You have made them and their work. Is fragment 2, 1 through column 3. Okay, we're going to get this one, and then it says, behold, all of the peoples are like nothing in front of you, which goes in with second Esdras, that they are like spittle, right? As chaos and nothing they are reckoned in your presence. We have invoked only your name, which is Yahweh. For your glory you have created us. You have established us as your sons in the sight of all the peoples. So we were established as his sons in front of everybody. For you called Yashar'al my son, my firstborn, and you have corrected us as one corrects his son, which shows you that we are the son of the Most High, not this Jebus Yahweh character, right? We are the son, my firstborn, which links in with Exodus 4 and 22, I believe. And it says, his son, you have corrected us. You raised, right? You raised us over the years of our generations. Evil, illness, famine, thirst, plague, the sword, requital of your covenant. For you chose us. So he rescued us from all these things. You to be your people amongst all. So we were chosen to be his people amongst all the earth. For that reason you have poured on us your rage and your jealousy with all the intensity of your anger. Right? So look at that. The Most High has rage, he's jealous, and he has intense anger. And everybody gets on my ass, right? For freaking getting rough. And he clung to us. Your precepts with Masha wrote, and your servants, the prophets whom you sent, so that evil would overtake us in the last days. So that's what happened to us. This is what happened. We're overtaken with evil because they did not listen to the precepts of Masha or the prophets, right? It says, our kings to take our daughters, and they acted pervertedly. So the daughters acted pervertedly. Your covenant and the seed of Yashar'al, you are just. So the Most High is just. Let's get one more paragraph and then we'll cut it. It says, this is column 4. Your residence, a place of rest in Yerushalayim, the city which you chose of the whole earth. Right? Let me see. I just want to show you. So it's Ba Yerushalayim. So you could say Yerushalayim or you could say Yerushalayim. The Yerushalayim, and the Yah started getting added in the time of the Maccabees. I've noticed anyways, because it started being printed on the coins and stuff. But it's Ba Yerushalayim or which is just in. So it's Yerushalayim or Yerushalayim. You want. Just Yam and Wam just makes the words more complete, more full. It says, for you chose for your name to be there forever. So New Jerusalem is where Yahweh puts his name forever. For you loved Yashar'al more than all the peoples, and you chose the tribe of Judah and established your covenant with David, so that he would be like a shepherd, a prince over your people, and would sit in front of you on the throne of Yashar'al forever. So out of the tribes, because remember, well, first off, Levi is like a whole separate like entity altogether. They are the Most High's inheritance. And then, but out of the other tribes, right, out of the 12, because they're like the 13th extra one, out of the 12, Judah was established, was chosen, was established the covenant with David so that he would be a shepherd and a prince, right? And he would be on the throne forever. And all the countries have seen your glory, for you have made yourself holy in the midst of your people, Yashar'al. And to your great name they will carry their offerings. So right there, man, it says to your great name they will carry their offerings. So you have to offer, you know what I mean, in his name, man. Silver, gold, and precious stones, with all the treasures of their country, to honor your people and Zion, right? So everyone has to offer to his great name, and these people are going to bring treasures to honor us. We're going to be honored. Zion, your holy city, with your wonderful house. And there was no opponent or evil attack, but peace and blessings. And they that ate were replete and became fat. So we're waiting for that, the day that we eat and replete and we gain fat. But that's to show you, this is the deep one, man. Let's get column 5. The source of living water, and says, so basically the Most High is the source of living water, because it's fragmented off, but you could tell what it's talking about. And they served a foreign god in their land, and their land too, this was the Jesus, became a wasteland. So the mental mind became a wasteland. We went back to Egypt due to their enemies because of your rage. So remember, anytime we fuck up, the Most High sends the enemies, mainly Esau, who is the Most High's physical sword. He sends them to wreck shop on us. I broke down in my Serpent Power series the red snakes, right? Red serpent or something like that. It's the red one, the red snakes one or whatever. In that breakdown, I broke down the fact that in the Hebrew it talks about that's what the brazen serpent represents. Is it's basically Jebus. And the serpent, the brazen, the red color represents Esau, specifically Amalek. And then I broke down scriptures showing that Amalek, whenever we mess up, Amalek gets sent after us and they oppress us with usury and with interest and with loans. The stuff that they do to us now. And then also, let us see, Amalek, watch it, I'll show you. It says it. But anyways, just shows you that the Most High in his rage, right? Look. So and then you could get an example of this, because Solomon, when go look at chapter 11 and 12 of 1 Kings. I'll probably break them down, Salak. I'll probably break them down here in the near future, Most High willing. But if you want to go look at them yourself, the story of Solomon, when Solomon went off, it says that Edomites were raised up against him. There was an Edomite, his name was Hadad. And then there was a Syrian, if I'm not mistaken, his name was Hadadar. Basically, it's Hadad, the false gods, man. The Edomites and their false gods, their false milk will be raised up against you if you mess up, right? This is what? So because your rage and your fiery anger were poured out in your zealous fire. So the Most High has rage, fiery anger, and a zealous fire to form a desert with no one coming or going there. So basically, this is a desert, and you're yoked up under iron, and in between iron and bronze, and right, iron and brass, and there's no going in or out, man. You guys are stuck. But in spite of all this, you did not reject. So this is the Most High. Even in spite of all this, the Most High didn't reject the descendants of Jacob, nor despise Yasharal, to destruction, annulling the covenant with them. For you are a living power, you alone, and there is no other apart from you. So right there, that's a cut on the idol. Again, there is no other apart from you. Right? So there's no right hand, nothing. No. You remembered your covenant, for you redeemed us in the sight. He redeemed us in the sight of all the nations and did not desert us. And you could read this in Isaiah 53. That's what it's about. Isaiah 52 and 53. And if you want to get backgrounds, you could basically start at 41 or chapter 40 onward. And every chapter pretty much it says that Israel is the servant. It says, you did not desert us among the nations. You did favors to your people Israel among all the countries amongst whom you had exiled them, to place upon their heart to turn to you and to listen to your voice. Right? So this is what's happening now. He did not forsake us. He's favoring us. Right? And we are hearing him. We are turning our hearts to him and hearing him in agreement with all that you commanded through the hand of Masha, your servant. For you have poured out your Holy Spirit upon us. Remember, this is the valley of dry bones. To bestow your blessings to us, so that we would look for you in our anguish. So in our anguish, we're supposed to look to Yahweh. and whisper a prayer in the anguish of your reproach. So in the anguish of his reproach, we are supposed to whisper the prayers. He says he wants to hear our prayers. That's what pleases him. Those are the sacrifices in his name, remember? That's the altar of incense. You're sacrificing your prayers. We have come into anguish. Even damn Revelations tells you that. We were struck and tested by the anger of the oppressor. Right there, look. We have come into anguish. We were struck and tested by the anger of the oppressor, which links in with Isaiah 53. We were struck, right? For we too have wearied the Most High by our iniquities. We have tried the rock with our sin. So that's the rock of the Most High, right? You tried us to help us away from our paths, right? On the path on which we should walk, but we did not pay attention to your precepts. So right there, man, he tells us we didn't pay attention to his precepts, man. We should have paid attention, but we didn't pay attention because he was trying to get us off the wicked path, but we wouldn't listen. You have thrown away from us all of our failings and have purified us. So this goes in with Zechariah 3, right? The purification. From our sin to yourself, from our sin for yourself. So he purified us for his own sake, remember? To you, Most High, belongs the justice, for you are the one who has done all this. And now, on this very day on which our heart has been humbled, we atone for our iniquity and the iniquity of our fathers, for our disloyalty, our disloyalty and his rebellious behavior. We have not rejected your trials, and our soul did not despise your punishments to the point of breaking your covenant. So right here, look, it says this is what we're doing right now. We're being humbled. We are atoning. We couldn't even get this far if we weren't humbled. So everyone is, oh, you got to humble down. No, we wouldn't have even gotten this far if we weren't humbled. We atoned for the iniquity and the iniquity of our fathers, for our disloyalty and our rebellious behavior. We did that. We've been laying hands on the red heifer, like servants of Yahweh, brother Gabaria. I laid hands on Azazah. We've been rebuking Esau and bearing our arms for the Chaldeans. We've been keeping the Most High's laws in Babylon. We've been doing everything, man. Breaking out calendars, busting out Dead Sea Scrolls, defending his name. We've been doing his job. We have not rejected your trials. Look at that. We don't reject his trials. And our soul has not despised your punishments to the point of breaking your covenant. So even though we're being punished, we don't despise. We're not supposed to despise those things to the point of breaking his covenant, in spite of all the anguish of our souls. So we see even these brothers knew, man, are the anguish of the soul. But even then, we should not go to the point of breaking his covenant, just like Job, you know? It says, for you who sent our enemies against us, right, have strengthened our heart so that we can recount your mighty works to everlasting generations. So the reason sometimes that the Most High brings the enemy against you is so that he can make a name for himself and show us, right, and remind us, right, to recount his mighty works. O Yahweh, since you do wonders from eternity to eternity, may then your wrath and rage withdraw from us. Look at our distress, our labors, and our afflictions. So this is like a prayer, you know what I mean? This whole thing is like a prayer, you know? We just, look, since we did wonders, we have to ask him for that. Take his wrath away, his rage, to look at our distress, our labors, our afflictions, and free our people, Yashra'al, from all the countries, both near and far, where you have exiled them. All who are written in the book of life, which the book of life is the same as the book of remembrance, the Safar, Zakar, right? The Safar Zakar, to serve you and give thanks to you from all their oppressors who make them stumble, right? So we need to be away from all the oppressors who make us stumble. And that the book of remembrance, let's just get that real fast. So we're done with the Dead Sea Scroll. I just want to get that quick script, the book of remembrance. Hold on, the book to show you, because remember it says all those written in the book of life. Because a lot of people I've heard think the book of remembrance is the Torah. No, the Torah is the Torah. The book of remembrance is something different. And we're going to get that right now. Because remember, it says that we communicate. We've been getting with it. So this is what's happening now. Look. Okay, right here. What does the Most High say? Remember bringing the gold and the silver and all that stuff, right? Bring all the time. Look, you are cursed with the cursed. Look. Since the days your father... Look, let's just start off with... Yeah, let's just go with Malachi and we'll start at 3 and 7. Since the days your forefathers have veered away from my laws, and you have not observed them, return to me and I will return to you, says Yahweh Zaba'awath. But you say, for what should we repent? So this is everybody, man. We're like, the Most High is like, man, just turn back. But you guys are like, oh, well, what do we have to repent for? Should a person steal from the Most High as you stole from me? And you say, how have we stolen from you? I love the Most High, man. The Most High is so great. He always asks a question and then answers it. It's the best. He says that you're going to ask, how have we stolen from you? By withholding the tithes and the terima offerings, right? You've held the tithes and the elevation offerings. You are the burnt offerings. Most High says he's mad because you don't buy him Kwanabashim anymore. You are cursed with the curse. Yet you continue to steal from me and the entire nation. Bring all the tithes into the storage house and let it be sustenance in my temple. So we are supposed to bring all them tithes because nobody's doing the work in the temple. Nobody's trying to bring them tithes, trying to bring that gold and silver, right, into the temple. It says, bring it though. Test me, if you will, with this. So he says, test me with bringing in that's the way we test him, is by bringing in the tithes into the storage house, says Yahweh Zaba'awa. See if I do not open up for you the windows of the heavens and pour out upon you blessings without end. So he will pour out the latter and former rains. I'll get a precept for this. In fact, let's just get it. Joel 2 and 23. Which this already happened, but remember, in the Dead Sea Scrolls itself, it said that it would happen again in the latter days. Another teacher of righteousness. So there's, see, let's get it. 2 and 23. Children of Zion, exult and be glad in Yahweh your power, for he has given you a teacher of righteousness. Right? Ha-marara la-zarakwa. Right, a teacher of righteousness, and he has brought down the rain for you. So the teachers of righteousness help bring down the rain, the early rain and the late rain in the first month. So in oneness, the early and late rains in oneness. And the granaries will be filled with grain, and the vats will overflow with wine and oil. Right, so that's you will be with wine, you'll get that sweet wine, and you'll get the oils. Right? If you test him by bringing in all the tithes to the storage house that you've been robbing him, and he says he will open those windows by giving you a teacher of righteousness to bless without end. And I will rebuke the devourer, and I will get this out of the Dead Sea Scrolls that says that this would happen, because this happened with the so-called the real Yahweh. But it will happen again now in the latter days, and that's what's happening now. Another teacher, right? Another Zadokite that come along that be dropping this rain, right? And I will rebuke the devourer for you. The devourer is Esau, right? And they will not destroy for you the produce of the ground, and the vine will not cast off its fruit for you in the field, says Yahweh Zaba'awa. So then he will rebuke the devourer, the conqueror, the Amalekites, the Edomites, the enemies. Right? And you will not, your land will stay. All the nations will praise you, for you will be a land of delight, says Yahweh Zaba'awa. So the nations are going to praise us, man. That goes in with Isaiah 53 and 52. Your words have become harsh against me, says Yahweh. But you say, how have we spoken against you? You have said, it is useless to serve the Most High. What gain is there that we have kept his watch, and that we have walked submissively before Yahweh Zaba'awat? And that goes for Judas and all those guys. That's why they fucked up, man. Because they weren't patient enough. And they were like, oh, it's useless to serve the Most High. What gain are we doing keeping his watch? What good is it being a Shamarai, right? So now we praise the wicked. Evildoers are built up. They have even tested the Most High and escaped. And this is Judah going with Lunar and pumping up Rob Rack. He's been pumping up all the wicked. He always pumps up the wicked. Evildoers are being built up right now. You have the short bus flunky crew with Judas the driver. They have even tested the Most High and escaped. See, that's why they're like, oh, well, nothing's happened to the camp leaders so far, so we could get away with it too.
Then those who fear Yahweh spoke one to another. I think that's happening. I think we're, those that fear Yahweh are speaking to each other. And Yahweh listened and he heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for those who fear Yahweh and those who give thoughts to his name. This is the book of remembrance, is Safar. No, where is it? Where is it? Hold on. The book of remembrance. It is, verse 16. 14, 15, 16. Where is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It starts on the next one. Yahweh, Yash. Yahweh, Yashma. Safar. You see that? You see it? Safar. That's the book. Safar. Zakarawan. Zakar means remember, to remind, right? That's why we're called the Mazakarium, right? The reminders, we're supposed to remind the Most High. That's why he says, test me. We're supposed to, it means remind, man. We're supposed to remind him. Zakarawan, right? Yasharawan. Wan is like a suffix that means like, because it means, this is, instead of, it's remembrance, like an ince, like a, it's a I don't know the correct English terms or whatever, but it makes it, Safar, Zakarawan, but the root word is Zakar, and then you get Mazakar, and then you add Yam, which is the reminderers, but then Zakarawan means remembrance. You get what I'm saying? So it's Zakarawan, Safar Zakarawan, which is the same thing as the Book of Life, right? Which is the Book of Remembrance. See, the Torah was already written. They were already reading the Torah, so why was the Most High going to write down the Torah again? No, it says, look, that they will that they will speak one, and a book of remembrance was written before him. That's why he says that we would be, that's why it says to make, because it says, look, that he's written before them for those who fear Yahweh and give thought on his name. So if you fear Yahweh and give thought on his name, and those of us that are doing this are communicating with each other, this is already happening, and the prophecies are being fulfilled, man, I'm telling you. We've been all telling you, man, me and brother Gabaria, man, we've been telling you guys, prophecies have been fulfilling. We should have hope in these things. We should be happy about these things. We shouldn't be angry and mad just because brothers are figuring this out, man. Like, we should be rejoicing that the Most High has healed it. He's healing us, man. The shit's almost done, man. And, but anyway, it says that it was written before him, right? Well, think about this. This is why the Most High commanded us that these should be bound on our fingers, right? So it's like frontlets to our eyes. So our fingers are always, wrapped up in it, you know what I mean? And it's right before our eyes, right? Just, right? Well, the Most High says what? That you are engraved on the palms of my hands. How can I forget you? Your mother may be able to forget you, but I will not forget you. It says you are engraved on the palms of my hands. How are we engraved on the palms of his hands? Because he's writing a book, and that book has our names in it. So this is the same. So basically think about it, whenever you're like this, the Most High is like this too with the book of remembrance. That's why he says, I will never forget you. You're on the palms of my hand. Look, the palm, it's on the palm, the book of remembrance, on the palm of the Most High's hands looking at it, just like we have this in the palm of our hands looking at it. See how the Most High works? It's both ways, right? Test him. Bring the storage and he'll give you. You give him, he'll give you. And it says, look, they will be a precious treasure for me. So we shall be a precious treasure, says Yahweh Zaba'awat, on the day which I bring about, and I will have mercy on them as a man has mercy on his son who serves him. Then you will return and see the difference between the righteous and the wicked, between the one who serves the Most High and the one that does not serve him. And that's what's happening right now. We are seeing the difference between, and that goes into Zechariah, Ezekiel 40, Ezekiel 40, where it talks about the priests shall show the difference between the clean and the unclean. It's 44 and 20, 3. They shall instruct my people concerning the difference between the holy and the ordinary. They shall inform them the difference between the contaminated and the clean. So this is what we're doing now. We're separating. Concerning a disagreement, they shall stand in judgment. So when a disagreement stands, we're supposed to be the judges, and shall educate them according to my laws, meaning no favoritism in judgment. They shall safeguard my teachings and my decrees regarding all my appointed times, and they shall sanctify my Shabbos. And this is why I've been doing work on the calendar for years now, and I have all this information just ready to give to all these brothers so that we could get on the correct times. I got all this ready, man. Like this is happening, man. This is you know. But anyways, I just wanted to share a few things like that because I was gonna bring this lesson out. But you know, I don't have time. Tonight it's already the sun's about to rise. I'll get a few hours of sleep and then jump back in it. I was gonna do a lesson on the temple tabernacle. I have it completely broke down. I have the ark, you know, the most holy veil. We're gonna break down the table of showbread, the entrance veil, the golden lampstand, the altar of incense, the 4 layers of cloth skin that cover the tabernacle, and then we're also going to hit up the tent structure itself, the outer courts, right, the brazen laver, and the altar of burnt offerings. And all of those lessons also have mini precepts to go with this. So this is the ark, right, front and back ark, right, table of showbread. The menorah has 2 also. The altar of burnt offerings, the altar of incense, the bronze laver. You know what I'm saying, man? Like this is gonna be. And then I broke down all the numbers. You know what I mean? A half means correction and rebuke, like a half, you know, like a half of a number, half a cubit, right? Means correction and rebuke, because then when you start off with the half step, right? You get that correction, rebuke, then you become oneness with the Most High. You realize He's the one. Then you start to cleanse yourself of the crimson blood. That's what 2 means. And then 3 is the covenant. 4 is to prostrate yourself or lie down in reverence to the Most High. 5 is you become armored with this Torah. 6 is you become white to be able to annihilate the wicked, and you become a Messiah. Number 7 is completeness. You become complete and whole. 8 is you have an overabundance. And 9 is you turn to the next, which is 360 degrees, full circle, salvation, deliverance, and compassionate, right? So, and I'm going to break all these down. I'm going to break all the numbers down in the temple. We're going to break down the ark. We got the Hebrew going, man. We've got it's total extensive lesson, because we even got this guy going. I also have the wilderness wanderings all broken down, the whole journey through the wilderness. Got the Hebrew broken down. Brother Gabari has been talking on that. See, look, we have the tabernacle. We have it all broke down: gold, silver, copper, what each of it means. The turquoise, the purple, the scarlet wool, the linen, the goat hair, the ram skins, the badger, so-called badger skins, but it's actually sheep. Acacia wood. We're hitting it all, man. We're hitting it all. I'm talking complete temple tabernacle. Like, this is about to go down. Like, everyone's gonna have everything. No more screwing around. Judas Naz, all I know is what Jews gave me, so I'm just gonna give you a little bit here and there to keep you going, but then the rest of it's gonna be filled with fuckery type shit. See, that's what's called Gnosticism. Nah, we don't play around with Gnosticism. We break shit down and we give it the fuck out. So what I'm gonna do, this is what's going down. I'm gonna let you know. You know, like I said, that's because that was Judas Naz. I figured out his little game. He knew so much. He only knew so much of the temple. So he would give like a little bit that he knew, right, to keep people interested. And then he would go off with some fuckery against the little game that he's playing with the CIA shit with Rob Rack and all them, right? Casting spells back and forth with each other. And then so he'll do that, and then he'll come back and drop another temple thing, and then go back to doing fuck shit, and then go back every once in a while. Nah, man. It's you gotta drop some bombs, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and it's good to go, you know, and cover other things, but he wasn't covering other things. He was just dicking around. And see, and that's, he wasn't bringing out the fact that the Holocaust was fake, or that the schools are teaching feminism and homosexuality, like that it's actually a religion, but they claim that there's not supposed to be religion in schools. He's not bringing out Azazel and the Nephilim and the giants and all that stuff. He's not bringing out how we have supposed to sacrifice Esau, the red heifer, like Abari's been doing, man, bringing out who's the Zamach, and who's the Yahushua, the high priest, and breaking on prophecies and bringing all that stuff. None of that's happening, man. He didn't teach anybody he like taught everybody like a freaking fraction of like what the temple is and what it's supposed to be. And then he didn't even do it right. I'm gonna break down the whole wilderness, because there's 3 tabernacles. There's 3 of them. You gotta first learn the first one, because if you don't learn the first one, you're not gonna know about the second one. See, that's the thing. He had everybody jumping in. No, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna completely learn this tabernacle. Then we can move on to Solomon's tabernacle. And then once I show everybody what's up with that, and I have all of this. I just needed to write it down, and it's getting written down now. I'm finishing up. I just finished up I finished up the wilderness one yesterday. I was just adding a few touches to it. And then I was completing Solomon's. I'm completing Solomon's temple now, and then working also, because I multitask. So, and then Ezekiel's temple as well. So the 3 temple mans, which is like the 3 degrees, because remember the temple itself is broken down into like 3 degrees. You know what I'm saying? You have like the braised up here to the porch. It includes the porch from the altar sacrifice to this line, right, including the lavers. That is the wilderness. And then you enter the holy place, which is the Hayakal. That's the Alam, right? All this is the Alam, and then this is the Hayakal, and then this is the Debar. Well, it goes in stages. First, you learn the one temple. Like, basically, once you get to the Debar of the first temple, that moves you to here in the second temple. And then once you reach the Debar of the second temple, then that moves you to the third temple. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a deep process, but we're gonna get it all done. I'm busting out everything, full total exposure. I'm giving everybody everything, total breakdown. Everybody's gonna be on the same page. No hiding shit and waiting for this. No, I'm sorry if I can't get everything out as fast. Amalek's been on down my throat. Come to find out that we're actually surrounded by Edomites, Amalekites, and hired Arabs. And we found this also prophesied of in the books of Maccabees. They hired Arabs across the stream, which we live, there's a ditch that surrounds the house. Across the stream, across the street, there are Arabs that moved in. We thought they were Mexicans, but they're actually Arabs. So, they hired Arabs across the street watching us. There's a rich Edomite that in the corner that is watching us, and then there's Amalekites in the back that are are related to the mayor of the town and all this stuff. So it's real, man. Like, this shit's not a fucking joke, man. They're watching, they know, but we don't give a fuck because they can't do nothing because they're in darkness and we have 7 eyes watching us. So fucking try, dude, and see what happens. But anyways, and then, like I said, we're going to be busting out more Dead Sea Scrolls. We're going to be busting out all the prophecies, man. We're going to be talking a lot more about the teacher of righteousness, about now, because they prophesied about now. We're going to, everything, man. Everything. We're just full on, man. It's just going to be fucking knocking it out from here on out. Well, I've been, since I started getting on Azazel, basically after I rebuked lunar eclipse, after my Came Out That Way series, you know what I mean? Basically, I just started smashing it up, man, in the spirit and power of the Most High Yahweh. And I will continue to do so as long as he permits me. But yeah, so it's been rampage, and it's going to continue to be a rampage. If anybody wants me to cover anything or missed anything or whatever, needs a direction to a video or something like that on a certain subject or whatever, because usually I have a lot of videos done so far that I actually covered a lot of stuff in. So, if you want to go check out the older ones, by all means. But like I said, ignore the references with Judah Naz and all that stuff, because that, we figured that out. But if not, if the brothers think so or whatever, maybe I could just, go ahead and redo it and make a new one or whatever subject or whatever. Just it's about helping the brothers, and about this point on, about waking up. Obviously, the southern tribes are already sealed with the Katham, so now it's time to move on to the northern tribes. So it's time to wake our brothers up so we could go the fuck home. So yeah, man. Well, that's my little thing. I just wanted to share a few thoughts before we move on. I'm gonna be coming out with the extensive wilderness tabernacle teaching tomorrow. It is going to be long and very detailed and very expounded on. So be ready. It's going to be like a 2-hour video. Get your pen and papers ready. Be ready. Be ready. Be ready. Get your minds ready. Pray to the Most High. Meditate to Yahweh. Pray towards Jerusalem. If you're in the west, pray to the east. If you're in the east, pray to the west. If you're in the north, pray to the south. If you're in the south, pray to the north. Right? So with that, Kal Halal Yahweh Zaba'awat Akkad, all praises to Yahweh, the Master of Legions, who is one, right? Shema Yashra Allah, Yahweh Allahayana, Yahweh Akkad. Hear Israel, or listen Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. Barak Hashem Yahweh, bless the name of Yahweh, Ahab Yahweh, love Yahweh, and Barak Atham Akyam wa Akwat, which is blessings to you, brothers and sisters. So with that, Shalom, which is peace, wholeness, good health, all that good stuff. So with that, Kal Halal Yahweh Zaba'awat Akkad, Hamaganath Yashra, Shalom Aman Aman.